Y'all, we're making shepherd's pie. Come on. Welcome to Highfalutin Low Carb, the almost weekly web series where we find, test, and sometimes create the best low carb recipes this crazy internet has to offer. Today, we're tackling low carb shepherd's pie. Stay tuned. All right, guys, low carb shepherd's pie. We have definitely entered the season of comfort food, so today we're tackling my version of low carb shepherd's pie. This is from my book, The Ketogenic Diet on a Budget, that came out last year. If you haven't picked up your copy, I'll tell you more about that later on in this video. Now, obviously, because a shepherd's pie contains generally carrots, lots of high carb root vegetables, including potato topping, a lot of that has to change, and I have some answers for all of those. Now, before we begin, I need to give a huge thank you to the sponsor of this video, Green Chef. Green Chef is a CCOF certified organic company with meal plans to fit a variety of lifestyles, including keto, paleo, vegan, gluten-free, vegetarian, fast and fit, and Mediterranean. Now, it is definitely nice to come home to a fridge full of meals that are delicious and ready to go. Most of the sauces and spice mixes are already prepared, and all the ingredients are packaged in portions just in the exact amounts that you need to make the recipes. And what's nice is you also learn some flavor combinations and cooking techniques that you might not have explored. So you can take some of this information and apply it to recipes that are already in your repertoire to really expand your palette of flavors in your kitchen and in your own life. Now, this was the pan-seared tilapia with scallion aioli. This was delicious. It had roasted sweet potatoes and broccoli and bell peppers and cashews, just a lot of interesting flavors and textures. We truly loved this meal. It's a great for paleo eaters and keto eaters who want to splurge just a little bit. Right now, Green Chef is offering a fantastic deal to you guys. If you will go to greenchef.com and enter code Highfalutin135, you'll get $135 off across 5 boxes plus free shipping on your first box. I say it every time, Green Chef, sponsorships like yours are reasons channels like mine are on the air, and I am truly appreciative. All right? Let's go make some shepherd's pie. Come on. All right, guys, let's get started on this recipe for shepherd's pie. Again, this is from my book, Ketogenic Diet on a Budget. If you already have your copy, this is on page 90 and 91. If you don't have your copy of this, you can get it on Amazon.com. I'll leave a link, or on my website, where you can also find this recipe for free at highfalutinlowcarb.com. You'll see links to the recipe for shepherd's pie as well as the ability to buy the book. So there are 3 parts to this recipe. The first is the topping that's normally potatoes. That's obviously going to be cauliflower. The second is the meat filling, and the third is the bottom base layer of vegetables. So to get started on this, we need to get our cauliflower ready. And so this is fresh cauliflower, and the instructions on the website and in the recipe call for or show you how to do it with a microwave and frozen. It's easy to do and just as tasty. But for today, we're going to use fresh, and I'll show you why and how. So we're going to put a little water into this. Not much, maybe half a cup, just enough to add an inch or so of water to the bottom. This is a pound of cauliflower florets. You kind of want to leave the stems out to make it as smooth as possible to taste potato-esque. All right, we're going to add our seasonings in later. So what I'm going to do now is just cover this, bring it to a boil, and then turn it down to low and let this cook for about 5 minutes. Keep moving it. Then we're going to take the lid off so that all the water evaporates, and we're going to then mash this with a handy-dandy potato masher, and we'll go from there. So there's nothing really to watch here, so I'll meet you right back here just as soon as our cauliflower is soft and ready to go. All right, be back. All right, guys, so we're back with our cauliflower. As you can see, this is pretty soft. The water is evaporated out, and this is fairly soft and ready to go. So we're gonna add in 4 tablespoons of butter to this. So we're gonna put this in here, and this is where you're gonna do a little bit of work. I use a potato masher, you can use a fork, whatever you wanna do. You're just trying to get a mashed potato consistency here. So let's do this. Again, also, as I mentioned, you can do this with fresh or frozen cauliflower. or in the microwave or on the stove. For this recipe today, I've used the stovetop and I've used fresh cauliflower. In the book and on the written website recipe, it shows you how to do frozen cauliflower in the microwave. You make your choice and you do what you want to do. So I'm just going to make this into mashed potatoes and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna set this aside and we've got our butter in here, so that's gonna be nice and creamy. And to this, we're gonna add a little bit of seasoning. This is a half teaspoon each of salt, freshly ground black pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. And to this, I'm also adding about a half teaspoon of parsley flakes just to give it color. That's not in the written recipe, but I kind of want to do it so that my thumbnail photo looks good and it looks presentable, you know, for company and family or whatever. So let's just get all this combined and then we're going to set this to the side once you get all the spices and seasonings incorporated. And we're literally just going to put the lid on this and off this goes, put on the side burner, let it stay warm, and then we're going to get started on our ground beef, okay? Okay, so now let's do the filling. This is the ground beef filling. This is 2 pounds of ground beef. I'm using 80-20 here. Use whatever you feel comfortable with. Also, if you want to go like super traditional, you can use ground lamb. Would be delicious, is delicious in this, trust me. And if you're lucky enough to have a hunter in the house or access to it, venison also works great. So this is 2 pounds of ground beef and we're just going to brown this. And I'm also going to add a little bit of an onion. This is a little bit much. It calls for 1 small diced onion. I'm not going to use it all. But we've talked about this before. You know, a lot of people say there's a lot of carbs in onions, Wes, and there is. Onions can be carby. And so a lot of people say, well, just use onion powder. Well, onion powder has carbs too. Just because you remove the moisture doesn't mean you remove any carbs. So, you know, a tablespoon of onion powder or garlic powder can have 6 or 7 grams of net carbs in them because you're concentrating all the sugars and just removing water. So to me, when I'm cooking like this, I like the flavor of cooked onions. And sometimes if I'm gonna eat the carbs, just eat it as a fresh onion, right? So that's what I'm doing here. So I'm just gonna brown this and break this up as it goes. This is gonna take about 7 or 8 minutes, and I'll speed this up so you don't have to watch, and I'll meet you right back here when our beef is browned. All right, see you in a bit. All right, so we're back and our beef is browned, and yes, I went ahead and drained it a little bit. Obviously, you know, if you're eating keto, a lot of us want to get as much fat as possible, but the fact of the matter is in a casserole, I don't want a soggy, greasy casserole. So for me, I'd rather just drain off the fat or use a leaner ground beef. Now, to this, we're gonna add in just a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. If you have it in the house, that's really adds a lot to the flavor here. So it's a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. There's a little bit of sugar in there, so just be aware of it, but it's generally really low carb with the amount we're using. This is 3 cloves of freshly minced garlic. You can use a little garlic powder, but again, I like the fresh garlic. And this is some salt and pepper, a half teaspoon each. So in this goes, and then I'm going to turn this back on just for a moment, and we're going to just cook this for a second until the what's that stuff? Garlic. Until the garlic becomes fragrant. So let me just stir that up. And while I'm doing this, I know some of you are going to ask, because people in my real life ask, this thing here that I'm cooking with, I don't know if you can see it, it's called a thingamajig, and I don't know if they even still make it. It was made by Echo, and it dates back to like the 30s or 40s or earlier, and I finally found one on eBay. My father, who is almost 80, he still uses one daily that his mother used when he was a little fellow. So that's how long they've been around, and I love it. It's kind of slotted like a spoon, but it's a spatula. It drains. You can, if you're frying, you can use it to pull stuff out of the oil. It really has a million uses and I love it, and it's called a thingamajig, and I don't have a link to share. Just go look for it on eBay if you want to get one. I love it and I treasure mine. You can find them without it, with just a metal handle, but I love the old school wooden handle from the 40s. So yeah, a thingamajig. There you go. All right, so we're done here, and now we've got a 9x13 casserole. Yes, it is purple. No, it is not dirty. If you, I have to say that. My pan is not dirty. It's just a purple pan. And in this goes into a casserole dish. Loud noises, but that Worcestershire sauce really makes a difference. So spread this evenly around the bottom. And now we've got to do our vegetable layer. Now normally the vegetable layer is gonna be carrots and some onions, sometimes peas. We're gonna use some other things. So let me get, this is 2 tablespoons of butter. Go right in the pan we just did our ground beef in. And just by the way, the ground beef, you should be doing that while your cauliflower is cooking, either in the microwave or in the oven. I mean, or on the stove. You should be going ahead and doing that. So this is 1/2 pound each of green beans, which have been sort of cut into bite-sized pieces. With the casserole, you don't want big, long green beans to fight with. You want something bite-sized. And then about 1/2 pound, 8 ounces of button mushrooms. And we're just going to cook this down. I'm not going to add any salt and pepper to this because there's so much seasoning in the other parts of the dish, but if you like heavy seasoning, you can add salt and pepper to this. So I'm just going to saute these, and we'll be right back, and I'm going to speed this up, and I'll meet you right back here in a bit. All right? Okay guys, so we are back and our green beans and mushrooms are done. And I'm not sure if you caught that there, I forgot to add in a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder to our green beans and mushrooms while they were cooking. So I went ahead and did that. And we're gonna spread this on top of the ground beef. Now the important thing to remember is this is gonna cook in the oven for about 20 minutes, but you're really only heating it through. So as tender as you want your green beans, whatever that is, make sure you get into that level of doneness in the skillet before you put this in the oven, because it's not going to really do a whole lot more cooking than it is now in the oven. So spread this out, and now look at that. That looks so good. We're going to put on our topping of the cauliflower. So spread this evenly, and if you like more topping, obviously you are at your leisure to add more. Just know that it will affect the carb count and the calorie count. So we're going to spread this on top, and then all of this goes in the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. Sorry, I know this is loud. For 20 minutes, and then after that, for the last 5 minutes, switch it to broil, so that the cheese can melt on top. And when I say cheese, that's what we're about to do now. So once you've got this where you want it, and I want this to look good because I got to get a thumbnail photo out of this. Oh no, it was at this point that I realized my microphone has died. So you can't hear anything that I'm telling you here, but I'm adding some shredded cheddar. This is a cup of shredded cheddar cheese. I'm also explaining that I'm using shredded Monterey Jack and shredded cheddar mixture because that's what I had on hand. Spread this out over the top, and now I'm proud to show you how beautiful my casserole is. And it's going to go in the oven, 375, 20 minutes. And now I'm going to count down, and I'll see you back here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, guys, we are back. As you can see, this is ready, and unfortunately, I've already filmed this, and my battery for my microphone was dead, so you didn't get to hear anything I had to say, but look at that. I mean, my gosh, that's beautiful, and it is hot. I can barely hold it. Whew. So I went ahead. I've already had a little bit of this. I wanted to try to leave enough to leave myself a nice thumbnail, but here's where we find ourselves. It's so good, and as you can see, if you wanted this to be a little thicker, put it in a 9x9 casserole instead of a 9x13, but it is so good, and that's why also you want to make sure that it's really hot. that you cut your pieces into bite-sized pieces, because it's just can be a little rambunctious to finagle that. And you may think that the tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce was pedantic and you don't need it, but it really adds scent and flavor. It smells so good in here. So what does it taste like? Let's see. I know it's good because I make it and it's in my book. Sorry guys, I got so excited about how good this tastes and fighting with my microphone that I forgot to give you the macros for this. This makes 8 servings. If you make 8 servings, one is 460 calories. You've got 36 grams of fat. You've got 26 grams of protein. You've got 8 grams of total carbs, 2 grams of fiber, which leaves you with 6 grams of net carbs per serving. If you make any changes or alterations to the recipe, make sure you make those adjustments in your macros. All right, let's get back to it. All right, guys, low carb shepherd's pie. There you have it. Can it be done? You better believe it. This was a great option. If you haven't already picked up your copy of Ketogenic Diet on a Budget, you can do that at my Amazon link down below. Be sure to pick that up there. I also need to invite you to like this video and hit the subscribe button down below. If you're already a subscriber, make sure you hit that bell button below so that you know as soon as I release a new video. Also, join me over on Facebook and on Instagram. I'm just Highfalutin Low Carb over on both of those. I talk a little more frequently and a little more freely there, so please join me up there. Also, lastly, need to thank the sponsor of this video again, Green Chef. Again, it's sponsorships like yours that keep channels like mine on the air, and for that I am truly appreciative. So guys, be sure to support me by going to support them. Go to greenchef.com and enter code Highfalutin135 and you'll get $135 off and free shipping. All right, so I also need to lastly thank my rock stars. These are my Patreon members. You're going to start to see their names start to scroll here on the side. If you don't know what Patreon is, think of it as the tip jar for the internet. It allows people like you who enjoy what the people like me do here on YouTube, and you give $1 or $2 a month just to sort of keep the train on the tracks, as it were. So again, thank you to all my rock stars. Be sure to check me out there. It's patreon.com/Highfalutin Low Carb. Otherwise, I love you guys. I'll see you very soon for another low carb video. Bye-bye.